Hi, my name's Haley Malloy, and I'm an instructor at SUNY Brockport. The following presentation's aim is to give an overview of AI use within education. Although I touch on some course and university-specific policy, most information I give will apply to any program or school. I decided to create this because throughout the last few semesters, more and more instances have come up that need to be addressed regarding AI use within courses. Obviously, AI can do great things and can be a great resource, and it's not going away, so students and schools need to adapt going forward in a way that will benefit everyone while still allowing students to learn and grasp necessary course concepts. As a student, you need to make sure your use of AI is not negatively affecting your learning. The following presentation are some things to know and different practices that you could implement into your studies. Why we're talking about AI now. Over the past year, there's been a noticeable uptick in AI related issues from assignments that my students are handing in. They're using AI either too much or they're leaning too heavily on it, and this presentation is meant to be proactive and ensure everyone has a clear understanding of expectations before problems come up. It's not about assuming misuse, it's about clarity and fairness and understanding where it could be used to help you positively and where it should not be used. Why AI use and academic integrity matter. Misusing AI in an academic setting could lead to academic integrity problems and issues within the course policy and the college policy. So academic integrity means that the work you submit represents your own thinking, writing, and engagement with course materials. This includes being the author of your work, being able to explain how it was developed, and accurately representing sources. AI tools do not change these expectations. When AI becomes a problem, AI becomes a problem when it does work students are expected to do themselves. Even if AI generated content is edited afterward, the structure and language patterns can still raise concerns. If AI is doing the heavy lifting, the work no longer reflects your learning. So if you have it writing assignments or paragraphs and sections, structuring or outlining your full assignments, generating explanations or analysis within your assignments, and creating citations or reference lists. So these are just some of the ways it could become a problem. I'll go into ways it can be used, but we also want to make sure we are avoiding having AI do the majority of your work. Here is an excerpt from my course policy, but this would be helpful for many courses and many universities. Why AI is not a good choice to write papers. It limits the ability to cite resources accurately. There could be errors in facts, omissions of information, inability to accurately speak to a specific topic. It creates hallucination citations, so this could just be made up citations, so one's not from real resources. It can lead to biases and include one writing style with very limited creativity. There could be inaccuracies, and it may not utilize our course readings at all or maybe in the right ways. Appropriate uses of AI. It could be used as a support tool, not an author. A helpful rule could be that if you cannot explain the content that you submit without the AI tool, then AI probably did too much. So you might use it to help you brainstorm, help with grammar or clarity checks without fully rewriting the assignment, checking assignment completeness, maybe making sure that you answered every question. You could have it clarify concepts after reading, so just getting a deeper dive into the course readings. Here's a little bit more detail from the previous slide. This is a screenshot from the course policy in my courses. So using AI to brainstorm ideas, asking for feedback for sentence structure or grammar. You can have it recommend resources, but you need to make sure that you check that the resources are accurate and make sense with what your assignment aim is. You can have it clarify concepts, maybe have it create a worksheet, notes, or write a quiz based on a video, but that's only for your own benefits. So maybe studying deeper into the course concepts and having it create a study guide for you. So if it's for a quiz or something, and just understanding, making sure that you're using it to understand the course concepts better. Then you could also use it to clarify. Again, you can ask it to provide feedback or summary of a paper. It's a great way to see if you completed all the required work. Course materials and citations come first. Most assignments require direct engagement with the course textbook and specific module readings. These sources should appear in most, if not all, of your assignment submissions unless explicitly stated otherwise, or maybe if you're writing a reflection of your learning, then you might not need citations, but even with that, sometimes you'd want to add citations. Missing required course sources is a red flag as to showing an instructor that you could be using AI if the assignment requires that course readings and that is left out of your submission. So you want the textbook and module readings first. The outside sources come after. Outside sources are great and needed in almost all assignments, but make sure you start with what we are learning in the module. And citations are expected throughout assignments. Citations are always required, so even though this presentation is about AI use, using citations on your own is a great way to make sure that you are avoiding using AI to write your whole papers. And if you are missing citations or don't include appropriate citations, that is a red flag for instructors to possibly determine that you might be using AI and not using your own learning. So anytime you provide information, define a term, explain a concept, or summarize ideas, a citation is required. So for presentations, every slide that includes information must include at least one in-text citation, whether that's in the text or maybe in the bottom corner of the slide. It helps prevent plagiarism and shows the work is research-based, not AI-generated. Presentations and essays must include a final either reference slide or a reference page with the full APA citations that link up to the in-text citations. Written assignments, like I said, would have a reference page at the end. Then the in-text citations alone are not enough. References demonstrate your research process and support academic integrity. How AI flags and reviews work. Each assignment that you submit is processed through our university's program software called Turnitin. Other universities may use different things. Some might not use any, but either way, professors are often able to determine if something is AI generated or maybe that you are leaning on it too much. But in our case, the AI flag will be brought to my attention through the Turnitin software. The paper is assessed and given a score for both plagiarism and AI use. It's a screening tool to help me see if AI is thought to have been used too much. So it's a percentage of your paper out of 100. If it's over 20%, it will trigger a review by me, and the course policy notes this. After that, the assignment will be reviewed by myself or your instructor, and the instructor will review writing style, citations, sources, and a bunch of other things to determine if it's possible that AI was used too much. But that Turnitin score will be the initial way to determine. But again, there's also other ways. So even if you have a low AI score, I'll go into other ways. And I did talk a little bit about things that you should be including in your essays or assignments to make sure that you're showing it's your own work and not AI. Here's some information from our course policy. How do I know you used AI? Poor performance on an assessment due to not fully answering the requirements. AI is flagged in the Brightspace Turnitin software. Misusing or missing course required reading citations. The citations do not exist when I review them. I review every citation that you include. I look up the source and scan the source, depending on if I don't believe the information you're writing about is coming from that source that you cited. I could also see that you used AI through hallucination citations, maybe citations that aren't real sources, then also links to citations that do not exist. In our course, the AI policy states if your professor suspects you have used AI for any part of an assignment, we reserve the right to treat this as a violation of our professional dispositions and academic integrity policies. This will be followed up with appropriate action per the college policies. If your assignment has more than 20% AI generated materials, this will result in a violation of the academic integrity policy. What happens if there is a concern? The student will be contacted. The instructor will ask for the student's writing process, maybe have them write it in a few sentences or paragraphs. They will ask for any drafts, notes, screenshots of assignment history. The student would be recommended to include anything with dates to show that this was written certain dates, or maybe you looked up certain information, or maybe a screenshot of a picture of your notes that we can see the date that the notes were written. So anything with dates would really be good. So maybe take a picture with your phone during your process of different drafts, whatever you think could be helpful to show me that you did not use AI to develop this whole paper. Then after that, a review will be conducted to determine if there's a formal academic integrity case. So if you're able to prove that you did write it and I can see that, then I will not implement a review. But a lot of the time, especially if you don't provide enough documentation, I will need to document it and complete a form through the university, and from there they will determine the next steps. I could suggest that you lose partial credit on an assignment, or maybe you get a 0 on the assignment. It really depends from a case-by-case basis, but you want to avoid this. So you really, really need to make sure that you are avoiding using AI too much in your assignments and using it the right way. How to protect yourself, I went in a little detail in previous slides, but clear drafting, consistent citations, and just from the start, limited AI use will help you to demonstrate authorship and protect your academic integrity. If you're unsure whether something's allowed, ask before submitting, but even something like Grammarly could be too much use of AI. That often rewrites whole sentences or paragraphs, and you really want to make sure that you are using your own writing and your own writing style. So from the start, use the course readings as your foundation for your assignments. Cite that appropriately and consistently, then screenshot drafts, notes, your writing process, and use AI sparingly and appropriately. Thank you. That's about it. I really hope that I relayed the importance of using AI appropriately in a course. We really want to make sure that we are not leaning too heavily on AI. It is an amazing tool for us. We don't want to fight against it, but we also don't want to rely on it, and we don't want the use of AI to stop us from learning important course concepts. We need to make sure that we grasp this in our professions, and if AI is used and you really aren't getting anything out of our course concepts, then you're not going to be prepared in the way that you should. It's also, there's a lot of ways to see that a student could be using AI. So make sure that you're citing, make sure you're using the course readings, and make sure you're only using AI as an assist and that it's not developing papers or assignments. If you ever have any questions, I am here. You can send me an email, sign up for office hours, whatever works for you. Thank you.